due to the nature of my speech, I couldn't really bring anything in, so I brought in this book. It's the reloading handbook that me and my father used since I was probably born, or before I was born, to reload all of our bullets. This is probably one of the most important things you can use when reloading bullets, as it makes sure you don't mess up. It gives you the measurements at each step of what you should do, so that you can measure and make sure you did everything right. Reloading bullets is a surprisingly cost-effective way versus buying them in the store. I did some math, and this is saying Nebraska is free because you can just go to a local shooting range and pick it up off the ground because everybody leaves it everywhere. The bullets were about $15 for 100 for 223. They get more expensive as you go up in caliber, cheaper as you go down. So that's about 15 cents each. The powder is $16 for 1 pound, and there's 7,000 grains in a pound, which is what you use to measure powder with. And the load that we were using only uses about 25 grains of powder, so that's 5.7 cents per bullet. The primers are 2 cents each, so you total out to about 22.7 cents per bullet, versus at a store you pay anywhere from $15 to $20, which is anywhere from 75 cents, or $15 to $20 for 20, which is anywhere from 75 cents to $1 per bullet. So it's anywhere from a third to about a fifth of the price. Items needed: obviously your reloading handbook, the bullet press, the powder dispenser, the dies given your caliber, the trimming, and we had 2 special tools that my dad made to deburr and clean where the primer is, and of course your powder, your bullet, your primer, and then of course the rest. The tumbler, this is just saying all the different tools. The tumbler, powder dispenser, the dies, the powder scale, the tools, the bullet press, the priming tool not shown, and again those 4 items. Step 1, you resize the top of the bullet. I don't know if you can see, it's right there. When you shoot the bullet, it will expand a little bit, so it's necessary to resize it. And using that part of the die with the press, you can resize the top and knock out the old primer all in one step. Step 2 is cleaning and trimming the shell. You put the bullets in a tumbler that's filled with walnut shells, and it cleans the bullet. And after we let them in overnight, and after you're done with that, you take them out, wipe them off because they get all dusty, and you clean out the primer with a tool my dad made. It just goes in there and cleans out all the gunk from the old primer. Then you set up your trimming tool to trim to the appropriate length of what your handbook gives you, and after each trim you measure to make sure it's right. Chamfer and deburr: when you trim it, it will leave little pieces of metal on the end, and then you trim it, and then you clean off the metal using that tool. Step 4, use this little priming tool. You put the primers in, and to make sure they're all facing the right way, the ridges, you just shake it and it will face them all up, which is kind of handy. You put the lid on, and you load the bullets in, squeeze the handle, and it will load the primer into the bullet, the bottom of the bullet. Measuring the powder: you always measure everything, including the powder. You set up the dispenser to give you the right amount of powder, and you measure using the scale. Make sure the thing is zeroed out at first, and then you fill it up by pulling the lever down and measuring. Loading the powder: you just simply hold the bullet underneath the powder dispenser, pull the lever down, dispenses the powder, and you always usually check every 5 to 10, make sure the powder's right. Step 7, seating and crimping the bullet. Kind of guide, you set the bullet on top of the shell and guide it up, and once it's in, you fully press down, and it will put the bullet inside the shell and crimp it to make sure it stays in place. And finally, you measure and finish, and then repeat a couple hundred more times. It does speed up once you get used to it. We do batches anywhere from 100 to 200 usually to keep the monotony down. And finally, now that you know how, you can see that it's very cost effective, and you can spend your winter months in the basement reloading bullets for fun for the next 3 seasons.
Rob, are you ready? Or Bob, you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, he did.
Did you reach your left hand?